It's funny how the religious are all convinced that the non-religious actively hate their God, ignoring the fact that they don't actually believe in their God in the first place. But, details. Frank, you're up. Make a fool of yourself. This is not an uncommon argument at all. I hear it all the time. The religious want to pretend that atheists hate their God with a burning passion because, of course, atheists believe that your silly imaginary friend is real. Except we don't, and the second anyone realizes that, the entire religious house of cards collapses as once again they are proven to be entirely irrational and laughable. This time out, we look at Frank Turek trying this little chestnut of stupidity, and it doesn't work any better for him than it does for anyone else. So, take it away, Frank.
Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
My name's Faith.
Hey, Faith.
So I have a question.
Faith, just turn that down a little bit, if you would.
Too short for this.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I have a friend, and I don't want to classify her as an atheist because she does believe in God. She's just so angry at him that she wants to reject him with everything that she has. She's just really upset with the circumstance that she's been given. How do I convince her of God's love and show her that he can be a loving God even though all of these things have happened to her?
First off, let's get this out of the way. No atheist can be mad at God because no atheist believes God exists. I suppose they could be upset at the concept of God, the idea of God, but they can't be mad at God any more than they could be mad at Voldemort. Voldemort isn't real. I can certainly dislike the character in the Harry Potter books. I can hate how he's portrayed in the movies. I can disapprove of his invented characteristics or have an aversion to his impact on the story. But I can't hate him. He's not real. He's an imaginary character in a series of fiction books and movies. So your friend either isn't an atheist or doesn't hate God. You can't have it both ways.
Well, it's not an intellectual issue with her right now. She's hurting. It's an emotional issue. So what you can do is just love her and pray for her.
Well, more the former than the latter. Talking to yourself about her isn't really going to help solve her problems. But yeah, by all means, try to help. Try to comfort. Try to work through her problems with her. Whatever you can do. What you shouldn't do is try to introduce your fairy tales into the mix. She's got enough problems without your delusions getting in the way. Just be a decent human being. Try that.
But if she's mad at God, then she's admitting he exists.
Which means she isn't an atheist. And I know that she said she wasn't saying that her friend was an atheist. But I'm sure that's where Frank is going to try to take this one, so that he can profit off of someone else's pain. Classic Frank.
In fact, my brother-in-law was having a conversation with a former Navy SEAL who he knows, and he's been mad at God for several years for a number of things that happened to him. And my brother-in-law Jim said, well, how can you be mad at a being that doesn't exist?
You can't. I already went into this. You can be mad at what people tell you about this imaginary idiot in the sky, that this supposedly loving deity that's supposed to care about you is treating you like crap. But the second that you actually hate God, you're not an atheist. You are a theist because atheists don't believe this God thing is real. Of course, Frank won't comprehend the subtleties here, will he?
And he said, thanks a lot, Jim. You just got rid of my excuse for complaining.
Then maybe he'll go out and find out what's really causing his problems and stop blaming this imaginary friend of yours. That's certainly a lot healthier than the alternative.
So I think at this point you just need to love her, and you need to maybe read the Psalms with her, because some of the Psalms are Psalms where David or a Psalm writer is saying, God, why is this happening to me? Then you can, if you go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, it talks about us going through difficulty, but how these light and momentary afflictions are achieving for us a greater weight of glory that far outweighs them all.
Then you can look at Job, where God and the devil have this contest over Job's misery. Because your God is a dick.
God may have a reason for this happening, even if she doesn't know what it is.
Or God just might not exist, and she's looking for an easy out for her problems, other than just dealing with the issues in her life. Because God is often used as that fix things button, pray for God to make it all better, and take away all the boo-boos because it's easier than having to struggle with your problems on your own. And that's why this God belief is just a bandage over personal responsibility that doesn't actually solve anything.
So I would just try and be in her life and be somebody who she can rely on when things are difficult.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Faith.
That's actually decent advice if you get rid of all of the God botherer nonsense. Just be a decent person. Stop trying to shovel religious horseshit into the lives of others. Help them fix their real problems. Don't pretend that your imaginary friend is going to magically take them all away. That's when you go from helping to harming someone's recovery. But of course, the religious have no interest in that. They don't want to actually help. They just want to give all of the credit to their imaginary friend, whether he actually did anything or not, or whether he actually exists or not. That's why religion is ultimately useless. You can get 100% of the demonstrable benefits from just not being an ass. No religion required. So, if you can do it all without religion, why do the religious insist on forcing religion into the mix? Because they don't really care about helping. They care about pushing their cult. They care more about their imaginary friend than they do about you. Remember that. Because whereas an atheist cares what happens to you as a human being, a theist is really only concerned with making more friends for their imaginary friends. Maybe these people are not really your friends in the first place. Because while the non-religious can help you find real-world solutions to your real-world problems, the religious can only offer fantasies. There's nothing real in what they're saying. So why value these people again? I honestly have no answer for that.